What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Hill Homestead. It is Saturday morning, about 8 o'clock. Recently just got back from a little bit of running that I did. So it is time to get to work before it gets too hot. I think today is slated for like 96 degrees. And I don't know where you guys are watching from, but this week has been hotter than usual. It's been mid 90s every day this week, which if you are blue collar, you work outside, or whatever you may do, it's been rather miserable this week. But this morning's plan, before the heat starts up too bad, is to go ahead and get the grass cut. And we plan to try to take that blue trailer full of trash over to the landfill. We use that blue trailer throughout our time here, and just kind of fill it up, and while we're cleaning the barns out or whatever. And then when it gets full, then we try to schedule a time to take it out and get it dumped. So we're gonna see what we can get into today after that, but we'll keep you guys posted. I also did take my own advice from videos back about weed eating early or before I mow, because after mowing I don't feel like weed eating. So I took some time earlier this week, one evening after work, to go ahead and weed eat everything. That way all I had to do this morning was just knock out the mowing and it would be done. And as if we did not have enough piglets already, with the 2 litters that we have up in the barn, we do have another sow, Luis, who is going to give birth within the next 2 weeks, we assume. So, but on the daily, Des has been hopping in here, of course always with someone else with her, because that's not something you want to do when you've got a boar, although he is a very nice boar, very gentle, but it's something you never really want to test. So right now Des is going to check her teats, make sure she is not milking, so that way we can have an idea on when she's going to go into labor.
And on this side. Nothing.
So as you can see, no milk yet, which means we've got at least another 48 hours or so before she would have any piglets. The best time to do this obviously is during feeding time. It is their favorite time of the day, which some would argue days like today might be the stream. So all right, so now that the grass is finished, it took me about an hour, hour and a half or so. It is 9:36 and it is already 84 degrees with a high of 76 today. I don't know if you guys could see that, but we are officially on a heat advisory. But we're gonna get this trailer hooked up and we're gonna haul it out to the landfill. So I had to lift it up on there because this trailer is really old and the jack on it is seized up, and I just haven't replaced the jack. But now what I think I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna ratchet strap everything down, things that I think could fall out on the way there. It's not a very long trip. So I'm gonna do that real quick and then we'll head down the road. All right, so we just finished dumping off the trailer. It is now empty. We're gonna go see what the damage is, but look at that cutie over there in her outfit of the hour. Made it back to the house, unhooked the trailer. It's time to suffer in this heat just a little bit more, but thankfully we're gonna suffer in the barn. We're going to try to make a weaning pen, but slowly but surely, almost like a creep feeder. To get these piglets used to eating corn and drinking out of a nipple waterer. And what I'm going to do is basically cut the bottom of their fence right now. That way they can slip out of it and go into another pen to eat and drink out of their own, instead of, you know, trying to drink out of their mother's or her getting into their food slash water. So the plan for this area is to utilize this. And first, need to take all of this stuff out. It's not all junk, it's just stuff that we've kind of stored right here. Originally, we put a lot of stuff there so the sows wouldn't try to jump out if they saw the other pigs that we have behind the camera. So we'll be able to take this off. Like I said, I'm gonna cut a small hole big enough for the piglets to fit through. And what we're gonna do is take our pig loop here, and I'm just going to wrap it around, make like almost like a half moon shape, and then just put their water and put their food in a separate pen. All right, so this is kind of the idea we were looking for as far as the half moon shape. And I'll just tie it in, and then I'm gonna cut a small hole over in this section so the piglets can come out. I do plan on keeping that small section for the period of time when the piglets are not big enough to be weaned yet, and so that way they can't sneak out or anything like that due to a random hole being there. With the piglets being small, we only did 4 zip ties, but it seems to be fairly sturdy. They have plenty of room to run around in here. Zip tied it over here as well. So what I'm going to do now is just kind of make my hole just big enough for only the piglets to get in and out of, and then have access to this area. You think this is a big enough hole? So this is kind of what we're thinking. I don't know. It might be big enough. And I don't need to cut the bottom of this off because there is a board under there on the other side. So it still kind of keeps the integrity of the fence here, keeps the strength. And these are not too sharp so that the piglets would cut themselves on them. So we'll see how it works. We'll get some feed in here as well as some water. We did go ahead and put them in here, and one just figured it out, so it's wide enough for now. Now in another week, hopefully they're weaned by then. They are about 4 weeks, so within the next 2 weeks, if we don't have to widen that hole, we'll completely block it off and put them in another pen. I don't even remember in the last video if we showed you guys much of Peach's piglets, but they are growing as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All 7 of hers are doing well. And she's just a little bit more protective of her piglets than what Rosie is. They are both very protective mothers, but she's just a little bit louder about it. And I believe I've mentioned this before, but piglets are probably one of the smartest animals that you can have, because I cut that hole 5 minutes ago, maybe, and these two have already figured it out. That one's just sucking water off of the leaking nipple right now, but they were just sucking off of the nipple, that one was. And see, there's another one coming out. So if you ever want a smart, productive, and tasty animal on your homestead, pigs are the way to go. All right, so while Des is back here chasing around this pig with whips, and hopefully she doesn't take off. It's a little bit warm, so I doubt that she will, but something to look forward to in the next coming videos is something I want to experiment with is building a box crate to transport pigs for people who don't have trailers. Sometimes if my family is about 4 hours from here, so if I were to take a hog back there to sell, I don't want to haul a trailer all the way down there. So what I'm going to do is build a box with a pallet on the bottom and be able to pick it up using pallet forks and just load it directly into the back of my truck, as long as we have a ramp or the buyer has some sort of pallet forks to be able to load it off. So that's definitely one thing. And another thing that I want to talk about in another video is cattle prices, things like that, things that you could do when you're facing burnout on a farm, as far as, you know, you're tired of doing things, especially in the summertime, taking care of your animals, ways to switch it up, things like that. But I think it is about time to call it a video, not necessarily a day, but a video. I hope you guys are staying very hydrated. Definitely check on your animals, make sure they have plenty of food, plenty of water. They may not eat as much right now because of how hot it is. So yeah, just keep an eye on everybody and take care of yourselves. Thank you guys for hanging out with us today, and we hope you come back and join us next time.
You're eating food.